North Korea is a country shrouded in secrecy, defined as much by what we don't know as what we do. Its leaders have built walls, literal and figurative, to keep outside influence at bay and maintain control. The world sees military parades and nuclear headlines, but the reality for ordinary people is far less dramatic. Daily life is a cycle of work, political study, and the struggle for basic necessities. The state dictates nearly every aspect of existence, draining color from individual choice. Behind the spectacle is a society of routine and conformity, where spontaneity is a risk. Understanding North Korea means looking past the headlines to the quiet, everyday lives of its people. We'll explore their homes, jobs, and rare moments of leisure, from Pyongyang's manicured streets to rural villages. By examining these routines, we glimpse the resilience and adaptation that define life in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. This is a story of the human spirit, finding meaning even in the most restrictive circumstances. In North Korea, the day often starts with the blare of a neighborhood loudspeaker, not an alarm clock. Adults head to state-assigned jobs, children prepare for school. Breakfast is quick and simple: cornmeal porridge or leftover rice. Work is mandatory, assigned by the state, whether in a factory, farm, or office. The workday is long, often followed by compulsory political study sessions reinforcing loyalty to the Kim family and the ideology of Juche. For children, school is a mix of standard subjects and heavy political indoctrination, with hours spent memorizing the leaders' achievements. After school, group activities replace free play, mass games practice, or helping with harvests. Transportation is a daily challenge: crowded buses in cities, bicycles prized, and in the countryside, long walks are common. Private cars are rare, roads belong to officials and the military. The state's control over work, education, and movement keeps people's world small and tightly regulated. Life is a collective rhythm, with little room for personal ambition. The struggle for survival is constant, and the boundaries of daily life are set by the state. Even leisure is shaped by obligation, reinforcing the system's grip. In North Korea, routine is both a shield and a cage. In North Korea, the government is the landlord. Housing is assigned based on job, status, and loyalty. A Pyongyang official might get a spacious apartment, a factory worker, a cramped unit with unreliable utilities. Homes are small, functional, and always display portraits of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, kept spotless under threat of inspection. The Inminban, or neighborhood watch, blurs the line between public and private, monitoring families for conformity. Privacy is nearly impossible. Neighbors can become informants. Yet the family remains a sanctuary, where people share worries and pool resources, especially as the state's distribution system falters. Survival often depends on family cooperation and black market ingenuity. Trust is rare, but family bonds endure. The home is both a refuge and a place of constant vigilance. In a society built on surveillance, family is the last safe harbor. Food is a daily struggle in North Korea. The state's public distribution system once promised rations for all, but famine and mismanagement shattered that illusion. Rations dwindled, and people learned they could no longer rely on the government for survival. Out of necessity, black markets, jangmadang, emerged, now essential to daily life. Here, people trade anything they can: vegetables, scrap metal, homemade noodles. What a family eats depends on their ability to navigate these markets. Official rations, when available, are meager. Most diets are monotonous, heavy on corn and kimchi, with meat a rare luxury. Foraging for wild plants and tending small gardens are vital for supplementing meals. The quest for food is a source of constant anxiety and creativity. The jangmadang represent both desperation and resilience, a parallel economy born from necessity. Food insecurity shapes every decision, every day. The state's failure to provide has forced people to adapt in ways the regime never intended. In North Korea, survival is an act of quiet defiance. Pyongyang is North Korea's showcase, a city of privilege, reserved for the loyal elite. Life here is cleaner, more comfortable, and carefully curated to project prosperity. Residents enjoy better housing, reliable utilities, and access to amenities like theaters and restaurants. The city's order is maintained by constant surveillance. Loyalty is rewarded, but always under scrutiny. A misstep can mean expulsion to the provinces, a social death. Pyongyang is a bubble, isolated from the country's hardships. Its residents, taught to believe their reality is the national norm. The city's privileges are conditional, creating a compliant upper class invested in the regime's stability. Yet, even here, freedom is an illusion. The gilded cage is tightly locked. Pyongyang's facade hides the deep inequalities and strict controls at the heart of the system. For its residents, privilege comes at the cost of constant vigilance. Beyond Pyongyang lies a different North Korea, one of poverty and struggle. Rural life is defined by hard labor on collective farms, with little modern machinery and scarce electricity. Homes are cold and dark, water is fetched from wells, and cooking is done over open fires. The collapse of the state's distribution system hit the countryside hardest, forcing families to rely on small plots and foraging. Jangmadong markets are lifelines, providing food and goods the state no longer supplies. Social life is communal but cautious. Gatherings are simple and surveillance is ever present. Travel is restricted, most will never leave their village. The isolation is profound, and opportunities are few. Rural North Koreans endure with resilience, cultivating every patch of land and sharing what little they have. The countryside reveals the regime's neglect and the people's determination to survive. Here, daily life is a test of endurance. For most, the world is no bigger than the village they were born in. In North Korea, leisure is orchestrated by the state. Free time is filled with mandatory group activities, mass games practice, neighborhood projects, or political events. Entertainment options are limited and tightly controlled. One state-run TV channel, books glorifying the regime, and no independent media. Stories and shows reinforce loyalty, leaving little room for personal expression or escape. Despite restrictions, people find small joys, picnics on holidays, games of chess, children playing in the street. Beneath the surface, a secret world exists. Smuggled USBs and DVDs bring forbidden glimpses of South Korean dramas and Western movies. Consuming foreign media is dangerous, but for many, the risk is worth a taste of freedom. These small acts of defiance offer a brief escape from monotony. Even fun is a battleground for control and resistance. In North Korea, joy is both state-sanctioned and secretly reclaimed. Leisure is a reminder of what's missing and what endures. North Korea is an information vacuum where the state controls every word and image. All media is state-owned. News is propaganda, not information. International stories are filtered to reinforce the regime's narrative, depicting the outside world as chaotic and dangerous. The internet is off-limits. A domestic intranet offers only censored content. Radios are fixed to government frequencies, and tampering is a crime. Possessing foreign media is severely punished, yet information still seeps in. Smuggled USBs and Chinese cell phones near the border offer rare glimpses of the outside world. These contraband files show ordinary North Koreans a reality that contradicts official propaganda. The trickle of outside information plants seeds of doubt and desire. Despite the risks, people share and consume forbidden media in secret. In a closed world, knowledge is the most subversive force of all. Life in North Korea is shaped by walls, visible and invisible. Daily routines are dictated by the state, leaving little room for choice or ambition. The contrast between Pyongyang's elite and the neglected countryside exposes deep inequalities. A rigid caste system rewards loyalty and punishes the rest, trapping millions in hardship. Yet the human spirit persists, black markets thrive, and forbidden media circulates, offering hope and connection. These small acts of autonomy are quiet rebellions against conformity. The tragedy of North Korea is not just its politics, but the millions of dreams stifled by routine and fear. The struggle for food, the monotony, the surveillance, all serve to suppress individuality. But beneath the surface, 26 million people navigate their own lives, waiting for the day the walls come down. North Korea's story is one of control, but also of resilience and hope.